Hello everybody and welcome back to the All Random All podcast starring me, Victor. That's right, Victor. The best Victor, the real Victor, and definitely the only Victor you should be listening to, and welcome back. Welcome back! Welcome back. And as you can see, there's only 3 people on the show today, so let's check it out. Obviously there's me, Victor. The best Victor, the real Victor, and definitely the only Victor you should be listening to. As per usual, shows up every week. God bless him, and on time, which is not something I can say for anyone else on this show officially as of today. Tribal Mind.
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. And today, who is represented by a picture of the Vault Girl, is not BMG. It's Tribal's better half, Triad.
Hi.
Now, some of you may remember Triad from our it was our E3 episode. She sat in front of Tribal's computer and talked about Fallout 4 with us.
Well, it was hardly anything about Fallout 4, but yes, I was there.
We talked about that's because Mod Bro, he's just
yeah.
It's not like God bless him, but he's the curious type. He's good to have on with guests because he's always got questions to ask and he really probes them a little bit. And respectfully. That's, because, we don't want disrespectful probing. We do not condone any kind of unwanted sexual acts. We only approve of consensual acts between 2 consenting adults or multiple consenting adults. Or random or podcast.
But it is.
Okay, so we need to get into a little bit of maintenance today. As per usual, good to have a little bit of maintenance. First thing is that last episode you may have noticed that nothing came out last week. Or, sorry, it'll be today. No, it'll be last week for audio, and today for video watchers. Nothing actually came out for our
podcast.
For our audio only. Nothing came out on iTunes. Me and Tribal did a video-only version of 10.5, or Random All Podcast, which is basically just an episode we just got all our maintenance done and called it quits because it was literally only me and Tribal. Bo couldn't show up. Modbro tried to show up, but his internet just couldn't do it. And so it was just the 2 of us, and we said, all right, we'll just do some updates. And we also talked about a game.
Endless Legend.
Endless Legend. We thought we'd get a little bit of content into the episode. If you want to check that out, you got to go to our YouTube, Gucko Picks Gaming. Check it out. All video versions go up there. If you haven't known already, I talk about it every fucking episode. Go check it out, definitely, so you can see my beautiful face, and you can see Tribal as well. So, yeah. Now, as for absences today, no BMG. Thanks to Triad for replacing BMG in the picture slot. His internet, he was going to be on the episode, but his internet did a mod bro, or just a BMG, because he's got terrible internet, and he can't be here. Mod bro is busy doing some assignments. Scott may show up halfway through the episode, I'm not quite sure yet. He's casting Smite at the moment. And... well, I guess Scott is technically going to be our guest this week if he shows up, because I technically got rid of him and asked him if he could come back this episode. He said yes. I don't know where he is now, though. Casting Smite. He thinks he's too cool for a podcast. And we were going to get Dieselfire to fill in as well. But Dieselfire also couldn't make it after he said yes. He was like, oh, I just realised I can't do it, guys. So there's all of today's absences, and after all that bullshit... it was only me and Tribal left, and so we went to the next best thing. Well, I shouldn't say the next best thing. We got the best thing. Victor. Woo!
I was waiting for it.
I do it every time. I did it for Killick. I was like, the legend of the Furballd podcast, Victor! I do it all the time. Shout-outs to Killick, by the way. His last podcast came out. He gave us... He gave a very good review of that show. I'm quite pleased. He was not offended in any way, and he said we were actually quite respectful with the whole, like, not understanding the furry thing. I remember one of the dude's quotes was, he said, I went on the podcast and they interviewed me because they wanted to know about furry subculture. And one of the other hosts was like, oh, okay, did they ask about, what's up with the dog dick? and I thought it was very humorous. Wow. So, shout-outs to those guys. What do you want to say?
I was just going to say, it's the issue with furry subculture. They get a lot of bad press, so they're always a bit... As they actually said in that episode, like, the first thing you generally say when someone says, we want to interview about the furry thing is, fuck off.
Yeah, so that was good advantage of actually me being briefly educated in the furry thing and having two furries on the show. One of them, of course, wasn't there. May show up halfway through this episode, though. Who knows? We'll see. So, yeah, definitely go check out the Furballd podcast, and we're going to advertise them again this week. Because they're cool dudes, and we can officially say they're friends now. Woo!
Yay!
How cool is that? Awesome. And that was the maintenance. Unless anyone else had anything they wanted to talk about.
I ain't got maintenance.
Apparently there's no maintenance. So yeah, we may as well get right into the show. Tribal Mind, introduce the topic, please.
Okay, today's topic is video games converted to movies and movies converted to video games. And basically how shit they are.
Yes.
That's not fair. Some of them are good.
Okay.
We have another side to the argument.
Good, okay. Which video game movies do you think are good? And don't say Mario Brothers.
Well, A, Mario Brothers.
Oh, you fucking...
And the Tomb Raider franchise.
I actually think I saw the Tomb Raider movie.
Well, we played the game since, we got our first PlayStation in 1997.
Yeah.
And since then, I've played every single Tomb Raider game that's come out.
Do you like
when the
recent
movies
ones?
came out, I played the newest one where she's 21 on the island.
Yeah.
I haven't played the Osiris one because I'm not a big online player.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about the next one that's coming out, but I'll have to buy an Xbox.
Okay. Yeah, because I hear some mixed things about the later Tomb Raiders.
Oh, but they're always going to go in different directions.
Yeah,
you can't
of
keep
course.
the exact same thing because people will get bored.
I think for Tomb Raider in particular, it's looked upon as the PS1 classic. It's a PS1 classic, and so it's easy to get mixed reviews about something that's been running for pretty much forever when it comes to the later versions. It's not like the original. Well, yeah.
Which is good.
I mean, the original looks like shit. You can go play that if you want.
Well, it's good because you go back to that because you want to go back to the days when you played it.
Yeah.
And then you look at the new ones and they're perfect graphics and you go, okay, this is great for now.
Yeah.
But, for your bit of reminiscing, I like the older ones.
Yeah.
But the movie.
So we're going to talk about the movies. So, generally, alright, as far as reviews go, pretty much every single video game movie is bad. Now, as far as personal opinions go, apparently Mario Brothers and the Lara Croft movie was actually alright, the Tomb Raider movie.
I'll agree, the Tomb Raider movie I did enjoy, but I'm not a great movie critic, so...
And, I went to watch Fantastic Four tonight, which I didn't actually mind that much. I heard it was a complete flop, but I was like, it's not that bad. In the preview, there's a new Hitman movie coming out. And it will be following the storyline of Agent 47. Which is interesting. So, video game movie to look at. And there was also the preview to Pixels by Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that's probably got the worst ratings I've ever heard.
Now, I will say about that movie, I'm probably going to watch it. But they got the creator of Pac-Man to come on and talk to Pac-Man, and they didn't actually get the creator of Pac-Man. They just got some random Asian bloke.
I thought it was the real guy.
It isn't. It's just some random Asian dude they got to come out and talk to Pac-Man.
Well, you can't really tell, can you?
Oh,
Racist.
No, I'm just saying that all older Asian men look the same.
Racist.
ageist.
Asians.
Well, I think no one's going to notice because the people who are probably going to watch this movie won't give a shit, because I reckon, like, true blood gamers would not watch it out of spite. They'd just be like, no, fuck this, I'm not going to watch that. And then, like...
Or more, screw you, Sandler. No one
and
really
then
likes
the screw you Sandler people won't watch it. And then the people who, like me, who miss the glory days of fucking Happy Gilmore and Billy
Mickey.
Madison, are probably going to go and watch it. And be like, oh my god, it's almost as bad as Jack and Jill.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with that one. I actually enjoyed his bedtime stories, but
I liked, I don't know, there's a lot of them I like that people were like, no, these are bad. Like, I liked, what was the one they did about gay marriage? I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Which I enjoyed that one. And I also really liked Click, which is where he's got the remote that controls the universe.
Click was alright.
I really liked some of those ones. But, yeah, some of his recent stuff is really quite questionable. And a lot of it's old jokes as well, or, you know, old cliches that everyone kind of expects. Like, the one where they go to Africa or whatever, it's just filled with old 90s cliches and shit, and you're just like...
Yeah, I think he's probably
real
got
funny.
a little bit too much control over how his movies are made, and he's kind of fallen out with the times.
That's what happens when you give him a production company. That's Adam Sandler talk for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so video game movies are pretty bad across the board. A lot of it is because there's this. I don't know what nationality he is, but I think might be from Norway or something.
I thought it was Russia,
Russia.
wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but there's a bloke who buys movie rights to video game names, and then he'll make... Well, he's made like House of the Dead and I think Blood Rain and things like that as well. And he, like Mortal Kombat, and he just spits them out, does them really cheap, spits them out, makes a whole bunch of money. And something about their movie laws...
Yeah, something about their movie laws in that country was basically, up until recently, every single dollar spent on a movie that was filmed in that country was tax deductible.
Yeah. So he was basically making films for free and then getting his royalties as well from people going to watch the movies and then buying them on DVD however much later. So, fucking, like, that big exploit. But there are also movies that were not made by Captain Exploit that are about video games that were still just as bad.
I mean, slightly off topic, but Dungeons and Dragons much? Did you ever watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No, I haven't seen a Dungeons and Dragons movie. I didn't even know there was a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
There is. It's pretty bad. It does have some really old D&D jokes in it, though. Some jokes that are actually so old that even modern D&D players wouldn't get them. Such as a dwarf talking about tugging on a female's beard when riding her, because in the original D&D, all dwarves had beards.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But I feel like that's not such a... I feel like that's not that highbrow a joke.
It is, because unless you know the original D&D rules, you have no idea why he's talking about tugging on a woman's beard.
Okay.
He doesn't quite reference woman when he's saying it either.
Ah, okay.
It's sort of like a side joke, and you kind of like, what? Huh? What?
That's interesting. Okay, so I recommend to everyone to go and watch, I think it was a Game Theory or a Film Theory episode done by Matt Pat from the Game Theory, about why all video game movies are bad, and I'm going to link it because I think it's a very good watch to help people understand just why video game movies are so bad, which we're going to talk about. Tribal, have you watched it?
Yes.
I watched it, but fucking ages ago.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting like 5 weeks to do this goddamn fucking topic.
Yeah, I watched it like 3 weeks ago as well, so...
Yeah, but the main gist you'll sort of get... Watch it now. Okay, you're watching? Cool. Now, mute me for a second. Alright, you keep watching. Yeah, good. No, what'd you unpause me for? Keep watching. No, fuck off. Go watch it. You watching it? Good. Okay, you watched it? Alright, awesome. So you've watched the video now. You're fully educated. If you're audio only, you probably crashed your car because you've gone on your phone and tried to look up a video. So, in any case, I've actually made a Viktor episode about this, where you crash your car. So I suggest you go and listen to that Viktor episode right now, because I shout for like ambulance and whatever to come and help, and I just talk you through while you're going to the hospital and whatever. So listen to that.
And hit on every single character that you can possibly imagine in the process, but yes.
Yeah, I hit on everything. I think I hit on a door at one point. I was like, yeah, hey, you pretty door. I hope you are a female door. So, the main gist you'll sort of get out of it is that a video game experience is much different from a movie experience, in that when you go to watch a movie, you get the experience from someone else's point of view. You're sitting there, you're in a very passive state, and you're just watching from someone else's perspective, and you watch everything they go through and the struggles that they have to overcome to get to the end of the story. But in a video game, you're active. You're in there. You're the one who's got to overcome the struggles, and you have to push through and explore the world and work out what's going on and how you're going to beat the game and get to the end. And that's why video games are so good. Oh my god, because you're the player. You get to experience everything. You don't get to watch someone else's fucking experience. It's your experience.
It's kind of like, you know, a good example is the whole argument of video games that are on rails. Like, a video game that's on rails is effectively a cross between a movie and a video game.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of interaction, but you're forced down a certain path. And I know Triad in particular doesn't like being forced down a certain path. That's why she loves Fallout and Skyrim, where she can just go off and do whatever the heck she wants.
I like open worlds.
Because, and it's that thing, like, if you are forced, particularly, like, it's even worse in a game because sometimes you're forced to take a position or follow a path that you don't even want to.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you get an option, be evil or good, but because you're on rails, you just have to be evil and you have to follow that entire path. And that's just, you know, and it's the same in movies. Like, you're forced to follow that path because that's the only path there is. It's a movie, it's one path.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like the exact same frustrations that you get from being on rails is why most video game... Well, I guess if you're talking movies going into video games as well, it would be that issue as well.
Yeah. And since I became very aware of the whole video game on rails thing, sometimes I'll play a video game, like, I do this with Star Wars, The Old Republic. Yeah, it's on this episode again. There's a lot of conversations in the game, and you'll talk to people, but you'll only get 3 options to talk, generally, when you have to speak. And you read through them all, and I'm like, which one sounds the most like me, or my character? Like, you know, and sometimes I'll say something, or given the options I've got, or sometimes my character will talk for himself, and I'm just like, I wouldn't have said that. And it frustrates me. I'm like, no, I wouldn't have said that at all. That's bullshit. I want to do the other thing. Why can't I do this? And so from a video game perspective, when I became aware of being on rails all the time and me wanting to control my own story, I became increasingly frustrated that I couldn't control my own story in certain parts of the game. And I think this is does everyone know the Stanley Parable?
Yep.
The Stanley Parable really explored this, and where you'd have multiple options, and the guy would say, "Okay, Stanley, do this," and you could do the complete opposite of what he says, and it would change the story and be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing, Stanley? Do you want to be in control? Is that what you want?" "Yes, I fucking want to be in control. Let me control it." And then the dude gets frustrated because he's the guy making the game, and you're the player, and it's this constant conflict between the player and the person, trying to push the story forward in the direction that he wants to push it.
Mm. Welcome to tabletop RPGs as well. The game master versus the players. Same problem.
Yeah. What do you think about it? Try it. Speak. What do you think?
Well, I think you're being unfair to the movies. Because, yes, you sit there and you watch someone else, but you're watching someone else's playthrough.
Yeah.
It's like sitting next to someone when they're on the Xbox. Like, oh, I wouldn't have done that, but you're watching their game. So a movie is just someone else's game.
Can I just clarify real quick? When I say Star Wars, I'm playing a Star Wars game.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't judge.
Yeah, no, I'm just because I thought you meant when I was talking about Star Wars, I was talking about the movie Star Wars.
About everything.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, yeah, I want to pick this way to go, but I can't. But that's fine. Someone else's playthrough is going through that. So the movies are someone else's playthrough. The Tomb Raider movies are someone else's playthrough. The Mario movie is someone else's playthrough. So you get to sit back and watch someone else and go, oh, what? I wouldn't have done that. Oh my God, kill that thing. Don't just lie there, like.
I mean, you could look at Resident Evil in that faction.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they run through and kill everything, whereas when I'm playing, I sneak because I'm scared to fuck about all those abomination things. Mm. And yet the movie people are like, oh yeah, I got this, bang, bang, bang. All of them are dead. It's like that's someone else's playthrough.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like, movies work for what movies is because from the movie experience, it's you sit down and you're watching someone else's experience. It's not your experience, and so you can sit down and enjoy the struggles someone else goes through. Any good movie will have a conflict, by the way. So you get to watch that. But game is a very different sort of experience because it's your experience. It's not about someone else. It's about you, and so it's different.
The problem with converting a game to a movie is often there's a lot of content in a game. Mm. And trying to convert that into a solid storyline in a movie for an hour and a half, a lot of times they have to rush even the main plot, not to mention the side plots and everything, which is what makes a game interesting. Like, if you played, say, Skyrim, if you just played the main plot all the way through...
Which is what you do.
I played all the side plots as well. I'm just not, explore everything.
Yeah.
But, even so, if you just played the main plot, that is a boring as fuck plot.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is to me.
No, you're going around fighting and killing dragons and taking their souls.
But you don't even have to do that to do the main plot. That's sort of the sideline of the main plot.
Well, you got to open up your shouts. How else are you going to get through that bloody great big tower at the end to defeat Alduin?
All those shouts you unlock through the main plot storyline. You get everything handed to you on a platter to do that mission.
No, you don't. You have to go and find the walls and get the dragon souls to unlock them.
The shouts you need, I'm pretty sure you only need the shout to bring a dragon down from the sky. And you get Fusro Da through playing it, and they're the only ones you really need. But if you want to expand your shouting vocabulary, then you actually have to go out there and find them.
Battling dragons.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if the entire game was just that main storyline, no extra shouts, no sidelines, just the plain raw storyline, that's what you get in the movie.
Yeah, I'd still like it.
Yeah, but I think there's still one thing you wouldn't get if you only played the main storyline and converted that to a movie. There's still one thing you wouldn't get, Skyrim in particular, the journey between each location. It takes a long ass
heavens.
fucking time for me to go from fucking Solitude all the way up to Winterhelm.
Winterhold.
I was going to say
Winterhold, there you
Winterfall, but that's Winterfell.
Winterhold.
I was going to say Winterfell, but that's fucking Game of Thrones. It takes a long ass fucking time to get there. A movie will cut that into about less than fucking 5 minutes.
Montage!
Which is good.
No.
How often do you fast travel between
no.
places anyway?
No, you don't understand, but that's a part of the experience of playing a game. When you finally get to Winterhelm, you're like, fuck, I'm finally here. I had to fight all those fucking bullshit spiders fucking spitting at me and shit, and all those mud crabs and whatever. I'm finally here. I picked up all this garbage, explored all these caves to get here. I stopped at all these towns and all these fortresses and talked to all these wankers and diverted from the storyline this many times, went to this place, went to that place, and now I'm finally here at Winterhelm to continue this quest I started 20 hours ago. That's a big part of the Skyrim experience, and you can't put all of that into a movie.
Well, give it to Peter Jackson. I'm sure he can do it.
Peter Jackson, would you like the rights to Skyrim? I can't give them to you, but...
Come
Also,
on, he
I
would make
believe
an epic 10-part series for that.
Also, I think Skyrim officially is based on a D&D campaign, so does he need rights to D&D as well?
Not really. But Peter Jackson, if you would like the rights to D&D as well, I can't give you that either, but maybe something you can look into.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's sort of... Like, the only example I know of a decent movie from video games is probably Resident Evil. Like, in actually referencing the game well. Like, I understand how much Triad loves the Mario movie, but the Mario movie has sweet F all to do with the game.
Yeah, it was very... The big bad boss wasn't Bowser, it was Cooper, and Daisy was a dinosaur or some shit that came out of an egg, and I don't know who Peach is, but there was no Peach. Fucking Bowser was fungi. They had Bowser, but he was the old king of Coopertown, and he was fungi, mushrooms.
Something like
And when
that.
they ate a piece of Bowser, they got stronger.
Really? That's different to what the movie I thought it was.
Yeah, because they would spore the mushrooms, and they ate the mushrooms, didn't they? Am I
No.
wrong?
They
That
were
sounds
trying
like
to
an entirely
stay
different
away
movie.
from the fungus. They're like, the fungus is going to kill us.
Yeah, but then
Move
they worked
before the
out,
fungus
but they
strangles
worked
us.
out that the fungus was actually good, didn't they? Because that's
At the
Bowser.
end.
At the end.
They wouldn't go along eating fungus.
Well, no shit, they weren't doing it throughout the fucking casual fucking mushroom over here. Fucking delicious. Oh my god, look how strong I am.
They're in a land with dinosaurs. I'm pretty sure they were smoking something.
Okay,
Yes.
maybe they were on shrooms. I don't know. And
But
It was a good movie for what it was.
yeah, but it didn't. It almost didn't need the Mario Brothers name because it literally pulled character names and a very, very, very weak version of what some form of story there existed in Mario.
hey, man, you knew that Spike was one of the Cooper kids, and you know that for a fact. And you also knew that they weren't Cooper kids, really. They were just a couple random blokes.
Okay.
Iggy and Spike. They had Iggy and Spike. Spike isn't a Cooper kid, but Iggy is. And then they weren't made into Cooper kids. Don't you know that? Cooper
It's
kids.
been a long time since I've seen that movie.
But
A long
fuck,
time.
you think... I read a book adaptation of it, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
And then
But
I
yes.
watched the Cinema Sins version of it.
Yeah. But like, you know, is there any other game or even movies that have been converted to games that we could put up as a good version, a good conversion?
Harry Potter and Harry Potter Lego.
The
Lego games are
the Lego
great.
versions have their own charm about them, which is good.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't think of any good movie to video games off the top of my head, because I can only think of the fucking, like, Spider-Man 2, the video game, or shit like that.
I mean, you can sort of roughly count some of the Star Wars stuff, but that's because it's all from the same universe, not so much because it's actually the same storyline.
It's not like the movies, but a lot of this is why I really like the Star Wars games, is because they don't make you play the movies. They make you play shit that was happening either around the movies or in completely different timelines, but all within the same universe. And this is why I like Star Wars so much, because there's so much Star Wars material out there separate from the main storyline about Anakin Skywalker and then Luke Skywalker.
But, like, that's the only reason I think the Star Wars games work, is because they're not the movie.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a game based on a movie, it is on rails.
Yeah,
Or
and it kind of
you
has
have
to be
to
on
make it-
rails, though, doesn't it? Like, if I was playing the video game version of Star Wars Episode 4, like, I'd be playing Luke Skywalker, and I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Like, I can be a really aggressive Luke Skywalker or something, but it's like, that's not Luke, man. Like, that's not right. Like, I can go for, like, if they added, like, dark side options for Luke Skywalker, I'd be like, that's not right. Like, that's weird. Like, it's Luke Skywalker. Like, fucking, I know who Luke Skywalker is, and this is just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know any tried?
I was trying to think, but
It's kind of hard. Like, I mean, I've played Blood Rain or Blood Rain, depending on how you look at it. The game was enjoyable. When I saw the movie, I had no idea what I was watching. Yeah, I don't know. There's not that many games to movies and movies to games I've really bothered with, because normally I don't get into enough into a franchise to bother.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I guess it's just because the medias are so different. It's literally, one is a set in stone path, and the other is designed, like, it's most enjoyable to be multi-faceted, like multi-direction. So
Well, it's like comparing a forest to a fenced stone pathway.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of
oh, here's one for you: the Die Hard movies and the Die Hard games. I love the movies. I played the games and I love them, despite not being able to get far. But that's a good conversion. Like, it sticks to the plot, but you can actually move around a bit.
so. Is it basically a first-person shooter game?
Yeah.
Or a third... It'd be a third person, wouldn't it?
Oh, first, third.
Was it third person? Oh, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you see your character.
Yeah, third person.
So that'd be third.
Yeah. The Total Biscuit definition of a game is a form of interactive media with a fail state. Like, there is a way for you to lose at this game somehow beyond you just stop playing. So, like,
Which means all those clicker games
that
are.
failure can be anything from game over, big letters on the screen, to you not being able to complete a puzzle. Which the game doesn't actually tell you it's game over, but that's you failing to complete a puzzle, and therefore you've failed at the game. That's the Total Biscuit definition of what is a video game. For those who don't know, Total Biscuit, pretty big fucking deal. Game critic on the internet, makes a lot of videos. Total Biscuit. And that's sort of the definition I go by, which is why I'm on the camp of Gone Home and Dear Esther are not games, and
That would be the same as the clickers games. All these mobile clicker games where you just got to click a button continuously to progress.
or like Cookie Clicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's all these sorts of clicker games out now. Apparently, they're getting a bit addictive to people.
Yeah, and there's situations of the only way to lose at those games is to turn it off and never turn it back on again.
But that's how you win at those games.
Fool.
Because you're not playing this shit anymore.
Fool. Oh, some people really liked Gone Home, man. You should show a bit more respect.
I'm talking about the clicker games. Gone Home is... Well, Gone Home.
Yeah. And, do you know about the games that are basically not games? You just sort of... They're so on rails that all your objective is to walk around and just get the story.
Yeah, any of those turn-based combat crap things.
Freya does not like turn-based combat, but I don't think that's what we're actually referencing. We're referencing... There's games like Gone Home where it's basically...
I don't know that one.
Well, the premise of Gone Home is you're this girl who's been away for a while, and she's come home to her house. Hey, I'm home, everyone. But where is everyone? I don't know what's going on. The place is kind of like... It looks like everyone's just up and left, and everything is how it was. And your objective in this game is to walk around the house and pick up notes that have kind of been torn out of your younger sister's journal, and that's how you get the story. And that's the entire game. You walk around, you find a note. Ah, my sister did this. Walk around, find another note. Ah, my sister did this. Find another note. Ah, my sister did this. And the whole point of it is, it's a story about a young girl who fell in love with another young girl into a lesbian relationship, and they ran away together. And that was the whole... that was it. There was no gameplay. It was just you walk around and pick up notes, and you get the story. And then when you pick up the last note and read that, the game ends.
I'd use that as a learn to read tool.
Yeah, like there's no...
I wouldn't call that a game at all.
Yeah, there's no puzzles, nothing like that. There's just walk around and you get the story. And there are a lot of people who are like, yes, it's a game, it's a game. And then there are people...
No, it's not.
And then there are people... And I'm in the camp of, no, it's not a game, which is the same camp Total Biscuit is in, because I really fucking like Total Biscuit. And it does not follow his definition of a game. Tribal, what do you think?
Like, it's not a game, but there's not really a name for what it is. It's an interactive media, you could kind of call it that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been calling it, like a interactive media. That's the only thing I can really think. I think Total Biscuit had a definition of it, which I might be able to look up, but for now I've just been calling it interactive media.
I mean, I guess they would almost class a lot of these things like, you know, the clicker games and things like that. They too are an interactive media because there is no, as you said, there's no end state, there's no start state. It's literally a time waster, but some are more valuable than others. Like Gone Home, I haven't played it, but people I know that have played it, it apparently has a very beautiful story. Apparently it is a great story. But that's not a game, that's a story.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other games like that, where it's just a story. I mean, even to some degree, a lot of the Telltale games now, there's interaction in the games, but because of how they're doing it part by part by part, you don't really change the story?
Yeah, the thing about the Telltale games is... This is the really only criticism I have of them, is that the story doesn't really change based on your decisions as much as they claim it does. It only has small environmental effects, like now this character isn't with you, or now you might have money in this situation to get another piece of dialogue, which is what happened in The Wolf Among Us. If you took a dude's big wad of cash, you could have given it to the frog. And then the idea was, oh, now the frog can turn into a human by getting some potion so he doesn't get in trouble anymore. But the frog was still sent away for looking like a frog. So your decisions don't affect the story as much as you think they were. But there are still like quick time events. There are still quick time events and gameplay in there that narrowly pass it as a game. And there are ways to lose as well, like game over. But then it just puts you back at the start and you go again.
But that seems to be the in-between. Like, that's sort of... It's not quite the... what we want. It's not quite a game, but it's not quite the interactive media either. We've completely gone off topic for the actual podcast, though.
No, this is on topic. This is still something I wanted to talk about. The whole what is a video game, because I mean it's still like Gone Home is still kind of a movie, kind of a video game, because it's still, you still have to physically move your character around to get to the end of the game, but you have no impact on it, and the only way, the only thing making it a game is that you have to fucking get the story yourself. You could have converted that directly into a short 20 to 30 minute movie where you sit down and watch a girl walk around and read all the information from her sister and then go, oh, I see what's going on here. And it would have had much of a similar effect because there's no real gameplay involved.
I mean, what's your opinion on this sort of stuff, Trey? Like, I know you said it's not really a game, but like, would you want to play something like that?
I think they'd be good time wasters, or if you just wanted something mind-numbing. Like, a lot of these games, you know, like Facebook games, they're mind-numbing. You go on there just to calm down, relax a little bit, and just not think of anything. So, yeah, there might be a bit of reading in it, but it's not like you're having to turn around like, where's the combat and where do I need to find this certain item? It's just like a straightforward. So I can understand why people would play it because not everyone wants total focus on something. They just want to half do it. And I think you can half do those sorts of games. So I don't want to call them games, but, you know, like there's something you can just sit back and do automatically without too much brain power.
So they're a very passive sort of game. Which I guess is the same as the clickers and things like that. I mean, to a degree, even, and Victor's previously put his opinion on it, but it's finally coming out on Android, the Fallout Shelter game is, for the most part, a fairly passive game as well. Like, a lot of it's just sitting there watching it going, click, 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 okay. Click. Like, there is interaction in it because you have attacks by things and stuff like that, but to a lot of the degree, those sort of games are sort of like, well, I could probably walk away from this, come back 20 minutes later, and most likely people aren't going to be dead. Yeah. Yeah. And looks like we might finally have our fourth man.
Yes, I've just... Oh, shit. I've just... Yeah, okay, I'll just slot him in a bit better. Nice Smite Pro League thing you got there, Scotty.
I've literally just finished casting, so...
That's actually pretty cool. Is that just behind your actual setup?
So what this is actually a frame that we built, made out of PVC pipe and just connectors and things, and it's got a curtain on it. I originally built this just to be a casting booth, just to put up, but the curtains are too thin that run around it, and then we just got bulldog clipped on a bit of paper that's been printed out, a B0 piece of paper, just a logo, and this is actually the arena map, just coloured blue as well.
Oh, that's cool.
You can't really see that very well.
No, not really.
Everyone, welcome back to the maintenance section of the show. Scott, where the fuck have you been?
I have had a lot of problems. I've not been myself, really. I flew up to the Gold Coast for a LAN. I went to Fiance's family last week. And I've just settled down and just sort of found myself again. I'm casting a lot more. I'm having a lot more fun with my games. I just sort of got to a stage where I was just not enjoying anything I did. So I just went off and was just myself and did exactly what I wanted to do for a little bit of time, and it was great.
That's good. Welcome back to the show. You have been greatly missed. And it's a pleasure to have you back today, even though you showed up over an hour in. Over an hour late.
Yeah. So I'm sure you were introduced last time, but this is my, as everyone calls, better half, Triad.
Hi.
Yeah. We dragged her in because we needed at least 3 people on to do some discussion.
Lovely to meet you. I hear you're looking forward to Fallout.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Fallout. It was Fallout and it was Deus Ex as well.
No.
No, okay, it was
No,
just
I'm
Fallout.
just Fallout.
Great. Have you been playing Fallout Shelter, which got released on Android devices this week?
Yeah, I spent all day in bed yesterday playing it.
Me too! And then I had to restart, and so I spent all day today doing
Oh,
this.
God. I've had to reshuffle mine because everyone's almost dying of radiation.
Yeah, let's just say restarting and learning to play slow is probably the best thing you can do. Play it, get yourself a day of gameplay online first. Learn the
That
game.
is really my problem with those kind of games. I had that problem. I always have that problem with SimCity as well, where I build too quick.
Yeah.
And then I get overwhelmed really quickly. My biggest problem with Fallout Shelter is that when I turned it off, they did, next time I turned it on, which could have been like half an hour later, everyone was fucking dying. And I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? What do I do? Oh shit, what is this? And then I'd spend the next 20 minutes fixing it. And then when it was fixed, I'm like, okay, finally. Turn it off. I turn it back on. Everyone's fucking dying. And I'm like, oh my god, I've got to fix it, I've got to fix it. And then after about the 5th time, I was like, fuck it. Why do I bother? I'm not actually... Yeah, go.
I find this really amusing in that I must be either the best player ever for this game, or I must just be playing it at the right pace.
I'd say it's the right pace.
Every time I turn on my game, I have like a slither off the top level of everything. I click a bunch of buttons, I sit there for 10 minutes, I turn it off again. I've not had, like... I've had probably the easiest run... Like, the worst I've had is I've forgot my Wanderer being out whoop whoop and he's died. And I've just revived him with coin.
Well, see, I've gotten incredibly lucky this time around. The first lunchbox that I opened had Lucas Sims, which is, if you're a Fallout fan...
I got him.
He's the
Sheriff in Megaton.
From Fallout 3. You walk straight out of the vault in Fallout 3, you go straight to Megaton. First
cool.
card I pulled.
He died.
So you killed him.
Wow.
In the game, when I played Fallout 3, I killed him. I was like, oh, what have I done?
Well, you can kill the entirety of Megaton, so...
Unless you're playing the Japanese version. In the
Makes
Japanese
a lot
version
of
of Fallout
sense.
3,
That
you
makes a
cannot
lot
explode
of
the
sense.
bomb.
Yeah, that makes
Also-
a lot of sense.
Also, the Fat Boy launcher is called a nuka launcher for the same reason, because Fat Boy was the actual bomb dropped on Hiroshima, so they kind of couldn't use that name.
Yeah. So, anyway, Scott, before you rudely, abruptly, disgracefully,
I take offense at that.
annoyingly, frustratingly...
I take offense at all of that, but I think that's what it was intended to do, so it's okay.
joined the show, made me redo the whole fucking layout and everything, which I don't really mind. We were talking about video game movies, and games like, have you heard of Gone Home or De-Rester, those kind of play-themselves games?
I have, yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that sort of stuff, and before you got on, we sort of... all of us kind of agreed that Gone Home is not a game, and it's also not a movie. And how me and Tribal defined it was just some form of interactive media. And I wanted to, now that you're here, can we get your opinion on Gone Home and
I haven't really
like it?
seen anything of Gone Home, but a game that I'd really point out that kind of feels more so... I mean, when you play the game originally, it is an FPS, it's a zombie-based game.
Wait, before you keep going, can you record?
Can I record?
Your audio.
Yeah. Let me just pull up Audacity.
Oh, God.
I just realised, holy shit.
I wasn't sure what the plan was. Lucky I didn't uninstall it today, actually. Just thinking.
I guess I have to get this... Can you pull this bit of audio just from the vid and just throw it over to me when you're doing it?
Yeah, I'll export the video as MP3 and send that to you.
Oh, so I'll do the whole thing.
Well, you
can't
can just cut out this section and kind of slot it in, and then put the rest on. Scott, you recording?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, Scott is here! Whoa! What a
Surprise!
What a
Something-
surprise!
The zombie game that we watched play, we didn't actually play it, we just watched a playthrough. Last of Us.
Last of Us.
It's such an intense story-based game.
Yeah.
I mean, from memory, it's very railroad. You can only go one way. So whilst you do feel like you're playing a bit of action, and you've got to play different ways to get through, you've got to set up traps and whatnot to deal with the zombies, and go through buildings and whatnot in certain ways to make sure that you've dealt with everything correctly. Just the story. This is one of those games that really could be made into a movie and be made quite successful because of all the elements, the drama. that's in it. You only need to follow the original characters and what's going on. You only need the flashbacks. Everything is set up in this game ready to be a movie. I was watching some of the prior research that you guys did set up for this one because I love watching game theory videos. In that, if you want to see this one, just look up game theory video game movies. It was one of the most recent videos that he's actually done, and he points out in these videos that a lot of games are made for the interactive content, right? You can't really have a movie come from a game, from an interactive-based game. For example, an MMO will make a terrible movie. Why? Because it's interacting with other players. You can't have that experience in a movie. You just can't.
World of Warcraft movie, 2016.
World of Warcraft is the Warcraft universe. This movie won't be surrounding the World of Warcraft. It'll be a Warcraft movie. It won't be World of Warcraft, the MMO movie. You won't have to go out and grind 20 levels in the movie. That won't happen, so it'll be a very different pace movie.
Yeah, you can almost say a lot of times you really need to pick what you're going to do, what game or what movie you're going to convert, to be able to make it a decent opposite version. Like, we did discuss earlier that, like, Resident Evil, the games and the movies are both extremely good in their own fashion. But the game doesn't, from what I understand, the movie does not follow the game. It's another one of those ones where it's sort of stuck in the same world, but it's not the same game. Like, it's not the same thing. Much like the Star Wars games have just become an entirely different world base.
But that's what the universe was set up to do with Star Wars, right? And if you have a look at the Resident Evil, because, well, I hated the movies. I was never able to... The movies and the games themselves gave me nightmares as a kid, so I was never able to actually experience them until recently. But have a look at the sort of style. The games and the movies have a very similar style. Graphically, yes, they're two different opposites because of the timescale between when the movies were released and... Well, they were early games, so the original game series will not have the sort of graphical development that we do have now. So what we're seeing in these sorts of games is that, again, it's very railroady, which follows what the movies do. The movies set up the world of Resident Evil. If you watch the first movie, it sets up what's happened, why are we in this world of Resident Evil, and the games just, like, develop characters within those worlds initially. And then the movies were started to chase along with the original series, and then they wanted to chase the characters from those original movies as well.
I don't know. Have you actually ever played any of the games, Triad, or have you just watched the Resident Evil movies?
I played one of the games, 100 billion years ago, but it was a friend's game. Like, he came over and played on our PlayStation, and then obviously never played it again. But and what we saw of that was... I'd say it looked a lot like the movies. Like, the games were... Yeah, you had your shock points. You know, like your zombies coming through a window. A giant spider jumping down from somewhere.
Yeah.
And they have those sorts of things in the movies too.
Yeah. I mean, in the games, I mean, it's sort of like, oh, shit, it's coming for me, particularly me. I'm the one in danger here. And when it's the movies, it's like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't get hurt. That's so scary. That poor girl, she's gonna get attacked by the dog zombies. Oh my god. So when it's a game, oh my god, the fucking dog zombies are coming after me, bro. Poo, 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 shoot it down.
I like the accents. The accents were great.
Oh, what are you doing, bro? Shoot the doggy.
But yeah, like, there's just different aspects about it. If you, for example, the Tomb Raider games, the latest one that's sort of come out, and I think there was a sequel for it launched here recently as well. But that sort of style of game, again, railroady. You have to go through here. It was kind of like a playable movie that required skill. You couldn't just experience the entire movie. And there's something else that was mentioned in the Game 3 video as well. In Skyrim, for example, Skyrim is... And that sort of thing, it's the right world to have a nice movie in. But you can't base the movie on any one of the games. Why can't you do that? The games are so expansive. Oh, you could say, yeah, let's go to Bleak Falls Barrow, because that's the first dungeon that you go to in Skyrim. That's the first one you guided towards to. But I could wander off and I could go to Falkreach. I could wander off and I could go to any other city on the world. Riften. I could just wander over to Riften. Whatever, I don't care. And miss out on the whole Whitereach part of the story. And that's okay. But if you have a movie, you have to go through that specific path. That is the problem. That's why you can't have expansive RPG-based games that turn into movies. It doesn't work. You can't do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't work for people like us that play the games and do go exploring. But someone that has no interest in the games, but has an interest in that idea, would love to sit down for a Skyrim movie. And you'd put in enough parts to get the lore and everything that's going on, enough for them to go, okay, cool, I understand this now.
Yeah.
So you can do it, just not to the extent that us gamers who love the world of Skyrim.
Love and appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we'd look at it and go, okay, we can appreciate it for what it is, but we know the world is bigger.
Yeah.
But for my 6-year-old daughter, she'll look at the movie and go, dragons, that's cool. You know?
See, that's what we were trying to say, though. Like, you have to use the world, not the story.
No, you don't have to use... yeah, you said it in Skyrim, but you don't have to have every single place.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if I was making a Skyrim movie, I'd do it kind of like how I do the game. I'd have this brand new character, he's an individual, and he's going around the game. Oh, something about some bullshit that happened over there, that's cool, this is this one dude's story, though. It's not about the main quest of fucking Skyrim. You are the Dragonborn, holy shit. You're just some fucking dude.
It'd be more
turned
interesting
up.
to get, like, Ulfric Stormcloak's story, if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
Or even the story of the Companions Guild.
Yeah, there's so many other stories you can do that does not require travelling all the way around Skyrim.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like if you did a story that was already rooted into the game, like the Dragonborn that showed up to the fucking Thieves Guild and did all these jobs for the thieves, and then there was a big betrayal in the thieves or some shit, and you found some random fucking night elf chick, and she was like, "They're all cunts over there. They don't understand." Then, like, for a lot of people watching it, some people would be like, yeah, that's totally how it happened. But that would be a very small group of people who experienced it like that, and then there'd be a much larger group of people who were like, that's not fucking happened in my game. I didn't say that when that happened to me. I didn't do any of that shit. This is bullshit. This whole thing's fucking bullshit.
But wouldn't it feel cool if you were that one person that, like, followed the story exactly? You would just feel insane. It would be amazing, you know? But for everyone else, it'd be terrible.
I mean, as an example, you're just making me think. Any of you guys seen Pokemon Origins?
Yes.
Okay, now, this is, quote-unquote, a movie. Absolute direct reference to the Pokemon game.
This is the show they made of the first fucking Pokemon Red.
It's a mini-series. It's a mini-series.
It's a mini-series.
It's not a movie, yeah.
I watched that
You
shit
could
in
effectively watch
Japanese.
this movie. It's like 3 episodes.
Yeah. You follow the story of Red, not Ash.
Yeah.
Red.
You follow the story of the original character that you had as a Pokemon player. And you go through the story. Like, yeah, sure, he fights with different Pokemon to what you got. But it still covers, okay, here's gyms. Here's the, like, Elite Four. Here's the battle against Mew. Like...
Here's all the grinding that we had to do.
Yeah, it shows the grinding.
They montage that
shit. But, like, if you haven't played the game...
You would understand.
That is shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't played Pokemon, you watch that and be like, this is shit. Like,
but again, it's kind of like you can do different things within the railroading, but the game is railroaded. You can't go off, get no badges, and suddenly become Pokemon Master. That can't happen. You can't just arrive at the end game going through a totally different route. You have to go through the gyms in order. You can't get to Cerulean City and fight the second gym without getting the Pewter City badge first. You know, those are it's railroading, and I agree. I think that railroading is, unless the cinematography and the story is absolutely fantastic in games, it does detract from them. But that's what movies are about. Is it a videographic movie?
I think for the Pokemon one, it was like just a fun, reminiscing experience of. Yeah,
it was a nod at
like
the players.
I did. Yeah, like I did that. Yeah, I remember playing that fucking game. Like, oh yeah, I remember when Brock gave me a bit of advice. I totally lost to Brock the first time because it was the first time I've ever played Pokemon. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
I didn't walk around the map with my Pokemon running alongside of me. That actually didn't happen. He comes out of his Pokeball as needed. I went to the Poke Fan Club in Viridian City, not Viridian, Verulian, the one with the LT Surge in it. And I got the bike from that Poke Fan Club.
Vermilion, I think it was.
Vermilion, that's it. He does that. He does the railroaded events. He goes to Lavender Town. He goes to that tower. He needs the Silscope first. To do that, he has to head to Celadon City. And
the most important thing about why that worked, like, I didn't think that was awesome. Like, I thought it was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. That was cool. I think the reason that worked is because it found the key points and put them all together and said, you did all this shit. It didn't show me fucking around trying to get one particular Pokemon to max level for 20 years, or me playing,
it didn't
or
show
like
me
me
buying
bugging out the fucking game to clone 1 million rare candies.
It didn't show me buying the Magic Art for 500 gold before Mount Moon and training it to a Gyarados before I entered Mount Moon because I was bored.
Yeah, it showed the key points of where, like, oh yeah, I fought that gym leader. Yeah, I fought that gym leader. I went to the Elite Four. I totally went to fight Mewtwo. And the other stuff, it montaged. Like, oh yeah, I probably did that. Yeah, I imagine I would have done a little bit of fighting monsters in some high brush at some point.
Some high brush. Is it like we're smoking in a weed, fighting in a weed farm here? Is that?
No, that's when you've run into a drowsy too many times.
That's amazing.
And we've completely left Triad behind because she doesn't play Pokemon.
Nope.
Ripping pepperonis.
Just to say, for your experience, don't do it. Once you're into the universe, you sort of either go, yeah, or you go, why the heck do people play this game?
Yeah.
I'm already in why the heck.
Because that's in
My
another
4-year-old knows more about Pokemon than I do.
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, that, why it works is also why it doesn't work. Because for the Pokemon thing, it was a fun little reminiscent of how I played Pokemon. But I feel like the reason you would adapt a video game into another form of media, i.e. movies or Netflix series or whatever the fuck people do, you're doing that to introduce it to another audience. And the reminiscent style, you can't exactly give people a reminiscent experience of something they've never done. So introducing Pokemon to a new audience in that style just wouldn't work because they didn't do that. They never done any of that stuff. They don't know what's going on, and there's not a huge amount of dialogue that went on in that particular Pokemon show. Like, there was no explaining. It was just like, yeah, he's just got his first Pokemon. Yeah, he's going over there. Yeah, I didn't choose Charmander, but fuck, everyone chose Charmander.
Yeah.
The funny part when he's actually right, though. No, most people chose Charmander. If you didn't choose Charmander...
I chose Squirtle because I needed the Surf type. I needed a Water type to surf.
I chose Squirtle because I'm a huge Blastoise fan. But the second time I played through, I chose Bulbasaur because I do actually really like Bulbasaur.
Wow.
Yeah, the poison type annoyed me on Bulbasaur. Psychics kept kicking my ass. Anyway, enough of Pokemon.
So yeah, video game movies.
Yeah.
Did we have any other points we wanted to bring up?
I don't know. Anyone got anything?
I'll just say the movies are good for what they are.
Mm.
They're not the games, but they're good for what they are.
And they're also good as well. They're a different type of entertainment. You can watch a movie and not have to be involved. You can watch a movie and just turn your brain off. You can't do that with a game. You need to be paying attention. For example, this right now. God damn it.
Fucking Captain Fallout Shelter over here.
I'm sorry, I had so many babies turn into children. So many children turn into people.
Okay.
Into real men.
So,
See, I'm not the only one that mass breeds.
Oh god.
Breeding season.
I remember listening to a podcast specifically talking about this, but there's like, I was playing this for about 4 days, and then I realised I'd started becoming a eugenics supporter.
oh my god. Yeah, I fucking, again, I play that, when I play those type of games, I play them too quick. I fucking had like 5 chicks pregnant at the same time. And then all at once they just went bloop 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 bloop. And I fucking had all these kids, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, I'm waiting for these fuckers to grow up now. And when they did, my whole place went to shit. And I was just like, so new vault?
See, now we know why all the vaults have problems. Because they put in overseers like you guys.
Which is why they get shut down.
Should I rename all my men to Gary?
No, that's so lame. So many people have done that.
Really?
Yeah, look on Facebook and Fallout groups. One of the admins is like, yes, we know you've named them all Gary, so is everyone else. Give it up.
I might re-download it. I don't know. Maybe not. Fuck it. I might give it another shot. Like I said, it's just, I don't know if mine bugged out or whatever, and like, because it's supposed to kind of freeze a little bit when you're off, so like everyone...
If you need to make sure you completely close the app.
I was double tap and flip them all up. I fucking closed it. I did that every time, and it never fucking worked.
But I mean, watching Triad play, I'd look at hers and she'd have like every single one of her people has like 50% radiation damage. I'm just sitting there going, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's.
I sent like 10 out into the wasteland just so I could use the stims and the rataways just to get their health up again.
Yeah.
You can use that You can use that at home.
Yeah, but if she removes them from the area, they don't get re-radiated. Her plan was they actually survive better in the wasteland than in her own vault.
How long were you people sending people out for at a time?
Depends.
Considering that I have Abraham Washington and what's his face Lucas Sims, hours.
Okay.
Mine was overnight, so like
so
5
it's
or
all
6 hours.
it's all depending on gear then.
Depends
Yeah.
on gear and level and things like that. Yeah.
And how often you get back
I had
to your
one
device.
guy that-
Okay, because I got this fucking luchador dude out of the lunchbox.
the luchador outfit is awesome.
Well, I got the luchador dude out of the lunchbox, the dweller, and he showed up and I was like, dude's fucking cool. I don't know what he's good at, I'm going to send him into the wasteland. Because isn't endurance one of those stats that you don't really need in the vault?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I thought he had
Unless
a
you're
lot
doing
of...
their objectives and train 4 dwellers in endurance.
I never quite got up to the training part of the game.
Oh, they're just random
So I had to...
objectives.
Yeah, but I never got up to the bit where I had to train people.
Yeah, but
I never unlocked those. I never unlocked any of those rooms. Because I kept fucking having to start over. And then I made my review of Fallout, which was positive, but in a negative way, if that makes any sense. Okay, so really quickly before we finish up, Scott, please tell everyone what you are going to be doing.
What am I going to be doing? What I just finished doing. I do the Smite Pro League in Australia. Guy just died. Second guy just...
Okay, well, Scott's busy.
So he does the Australian Pro League for Smite now. He is a caster. You can see the big picture behind him there, and he's wearing his fancy clothing. Is that a waistcoat?
Yes, it is a waistcoat.
Waistcoats are just one of the greatest things ever, aren't they?
Yeah, I love waistcoats, man. It's amazing. It's grey on grey, so you can barely
So
notice.
good. So, everyone, Smite's a great, really fun game, and it's good for the... I find it to be pretty good for the people who are new to the sort of genre. Would I be incorrect in saying that, Scott?
It's easier to learn if you play it as your first MOBA.
Yeah.
If you're playing it as other MOBAs, it's kind of counterintuitive in a couple of ways, in the fact that it's over-the-shoulder third-person camera, generally you see the isometric viewpoint.
You kind of have to retrain yourself.
Look, Smite is for the first-person shooters and the third-person players, whereas League of Legends, something like that, is for the fucking StarCraft or Warcraft players.
Yeah.
People who are used to that sort of play.
And
Or even
I hear that
Diablo.
console versions are getting pumped out now,
Console versions are set for release this month.
which is awesome. So it's something that no MOBA has done before, but given accessibility to the console players, which is a huge market. And arguably in some standards bigger than the PC market, because a lot of PC people aren't like me and build their own fucking computers and don't have like high tech specs and whatever to run all their games and don't know how to mod or anything like that. And so some people are actually really quite put off by the idea of PCs and find it much easier to buy a console, plug it in, and it works just how they want it to work.
Pretty much,
Yeah, lazy people.
Yes, and I was one of them for a long time until I actually opened up a computer and decided I wanted to learn what all the parts are in. Yeah, which is actually starting to make me think maybe I want to do a course in computer engineering. I had to think about it, but the thinking process continues. Does anyone have anything else they want to say?
No, I like podcasts.
Anyone got any shout-outs?
Shout out again to Furballd and the Killick dude and Killick, all the dudes over there. Hopefully we can do some more collaboration in the future.
Agreed.
Shout-outs to Triad for coming on to the actual podcast.
Yay!
Who's ignoring me now because I'm shouting out to her.
Don't shout at me.
Wrecked! Wrecked.
I was about to say shout across the house, and I was like, I wonder if their kids are asleep.
They are.
Yes, they're asleep. I've already dealt with one of them throwing up. I'm not waking them up again.
Yeah.
Shout out to your children for throwing up.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the All Random All Podcast, episode 11. That's a wrap.
That's
Thanks,
a wrap.
BMG. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.